the second key issue I want to raise is Narendra Modi himself. Yes. What is your assessment of his performance as India's chief executive?
No, I think it is, the only one thing that can be said in his favor is that he works incredibly hard.
But ineffectively.
But he is always alive and alert. Well, sometimes ineffectively, sometimes malignantly. But he's always working.
I get the feeling Mr. Modi is not your idea of the ideal Prime Minister.
You can say that again.
Now, they say comparisons are odious, but they're not just inevitable. Indians find them irresistible. How would you compare this BJP Prime Minister to the only other BJP predecessor he's had, Atal Bihari Vajpayee? And how would you compare him to Indira Gandhi, a woman or a Prime Minister, I should say, that the RSS and the BJP both love to hate, but also hate to admire?
So first with Vajpayee. I think other people who are more knowledgeable than me and who understand the minutiae of administration say that Vajpayee ran a more collegial cabinet. He consulted with people, and he had to do partly because he was in a coalition. But I think the real difference between Narendra Modi and any other Prime Minister we've had ever is that for successes, real or imagined, he is not willing to share the credit with anyone else. Not even with Lord Rama. Okay. No, I think that's it. And I say this because, Karan, I have always, many of you in this room have thought this. But 6 months ago, I was driving from Bangalore, which is in the south of my state, to beyond Dharwad, which is in the north of my state. And that's a drive I did many times in the 90s and early 2000s when I was doing field work in northern Karnataka. I was going after 10 or 12 years, and the roads were really good. And I thought to myself, these roads are partly good because it's the highway to Bombay, and it was part of Vajpayee's golden quadrilateral. Why doesn't Modi talk about it in the Karnataka election? Because he cannot come to Karnataka and say, Vajpayee ji ne ye acha kaam kiya, main usko aage lena chahta hu, because he cannot even share credit with Vajpayee. Right. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, of course, which everyone knows, that if something goes wrong, he won't accept blame for that either. Right. Can I
venture an interruption there?
Please.
You've given the credit to Vajpayee, who stopped being Prime Minister in 2006, overlooking the fact that for the last 6 years there was a Congress government. And is it possible that praise stuck in Mr. Modi's gullet because it was Siddharamaiah he'd be praising?
No, I don't think so. I think in that sense, he is a study in self-love. I think it would take the combined skills of Ashish Nandi, Sudhir Kakkar, and some young psychoanalysts in this room to provide a deep. I think it's really, I think there has been, so that is part of it. Indira Gandhi also loved herself. Any person in power loves themselves. Virat Kohli loves himself, right? Mukesh Ambani loves himself. To get to the top of any profession, you have to have some belief, strong self-belief. But this is what is extraordinary. Look at what other people have noticed. His referring to himself in the third person. The suit which had his full name, Narendra Damodar Das Modi. So I think it's all of this that makes him, that is, as I said, there was Lord Ram and then there was Narendra Modi. Right? So that is really what is, to me, as you know, I'm a biographer too. I write about individuals. So I have some rudimentary understanding, not as much as a psychoanalyst would, about how people perceive themselves. And a young person, if I may just say one last thing before you ask your next question, a young person whom I shall not name, but who is more, as young people often are, more perceptive than people like you and me, a young person who follows Indian politics, told me, when I was explaining this pop psychoanalyst to him, he said, "Sir, Narendra Modi thinks he is like Chhatrapati Shivaji. And with this difference, Chhatrapati Shivaji was, though he was called emperor, he actually controlled only a small part of Western India, right? Whereas Narendra Modi is the first Hindu samrat to control all of India. So that's his self-perception. And that is why he cannot even share credit, forget with the good ministers in his cabinet, but even with the great Hindu leaders of the past.
You know, your statement that Mr. Modi loves himself reminds me of Oscar Wilde, who once said, falling in love with yourself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. The only problem is, this was a line in Oscar Wilde's play, The Ideal Husband. I doubt if that title would apply to Mr. Modi.
To receive instant updates on all videos from The Wire, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Pay to support independent journalism. Click the link in the description and choose the amount you want to pay.